Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to cover the topic of Artifact Strongboxing. Should you do it? Shouldn't you? What situations would it be best in? And we're also going to cover some more uses for 5-star artifacts other than just equipping on your characters. So if we look at our artifacts here, obviously 1-star artifacts are the cheapest, the easiest to get. You can farm this from the open world. But let's talk about how much experience you get from putting each one into a different artifact. So let's just select a random artifact here for enhance. For our 1-star artifacts, that adds 420 XP. For 2-star, 840. Scroll up to the 3 stars here. That's 1260. 4 stars. 4 stars are 2520. Let's go up to the very top for 5 stars. That's 3780. So all of these different artifacts, all these different levels can be used to level up your artifacts. I'm sure you knew that already. But this video is about the use cases for 5-star artifacts. Obviously, one of the uses is putting into other artifacts and getting those level ups even faster. But that's not a good idea if you're trying to save up your artifacts. I have a pretty well-developed and well-built account, so I can afford to put 5-star artifacts I don't want into other artifacts to level them up, see if I can get some good rolls on them. But is that the best thing for me to do with them? So while you can use them to level up other artifacts, another thing you can do is use them as XP sponges. So let's take a look at this. This is an attack percent goblet that is on a hydro damage set with ER, crit rate, defense, and HP. So it's not that good of a goblet. Not for me anyways. Let's go down to this artifact here. Let us enhance it. And we're gonna be looking for that goblet. Here we go. So it's locked, so I can't put it in there. So remember that previously it gave us 3,780 XP for putting a 5-star artifact in here. If you put leveled artifacts in, but 80% of those levels will go in as well, 80% of the XP that it has in it right now. But it won't cost that much. Regularly, it costs 1 Mora for 1 XP. So a regular 5-star artifact, you'd put in 3,780 and it would cost you 3,780 Mora. However, for this, it doesn't cost us 1 Mora per XP that this puts in. It just costs 3,780 because that's the XP of the artifact itself and not everything that went into it. So looking here, this takes it up to level 10. So this is a level 11 plus 3,780, but it doesn't get us to level 11 because it only inputs 80% of the XP that's in it into the next artifact. So there is a loss when you roll from artifact to artifact, but if you have too many artifacts or if you want to roll a bunch of them, this is a way to minimize the loss because I don't really see a use for this artifact, right? I can use it on a character and I'm sure they would be good because it's an attack percent goblet and has some crit on it. But at the end of the day, I'm personally not going to use it. Since I leveled it, I can dump it into another artifact and immediately take it up 10 levels. So we covered using 5-star artifacts to level other artifacts, as well as using them as kind of XP dumps or sponges. The last thing that you can do with the artifacts is take it over to your crafting bench, and you can use the Artifact Strongbox. Now I've heard a lot of people talking about how it's scammy. I'm not going to address that per se. However, I am going to look at the value that it provides and kind of put that forth for you guys to make your own decision. And I'll tell you my opinion at the end there as well. You look here. Every 3 5-star artifacts will create an Artifact Strongbox. So every 3 artifacts we put in here, we'll get 1 back. Well, that might be, you might sound like an completely uneven trade, but you put any artifact, any 5-star artifact in here, and you can pick which artifact you get back from the list that they have here. This does not include every artifact set. The newer ones are not on here. They recently added more because 4.0 launched, and it seems like every big version launch gets a bunch more. I believe the last time they added was 3.0 and then 4.0. So then the next sets of artifacts will hopefully be added in 5.0, hopefully sooner, but hopefully we do end up getting more at or before 5.0. So 3 artifacts to get 1 back. That sounds horrible because the average cost of a 5-star artifact is 20 resin, right? You go to an artifact domain, you spend 20 resin and you get at least 1, hopefully 2, but guaranteed 1 back if you're AR45 or higher and running the top level domain. So that's 60 resin for 1 artifact. That's way higher than you've been paying, right? But you're not paying for the artifact. You're paying for a reroll. So if I grind, let's go to the map here. Let's say I run this domain here in Dragonspine because I want Blizzard Strayer pieces. I run it 12 times, but half the time I get Hearted Depth pieces, and I don't want that, right? I'm farming for Blizzard Strayer. So I have 6 Blizzard Strayer and 6 Hearted Depth pieces. Those 6 Hearted Depth pieces are completely useless to me. So what I can do is head over to the Strongbox and find Blizzard Strayer. I can drop those 6 artifacts in and I get 2 back. So it's kind of like how you get more wishes from Masterless Star Glitter, the kind of cashback system, if you will. If you're farming an artifact domain that you don't want both sets that are in it, you only want one of them, it allows you to kind of get some more rolls. That's for more developed accounts, which is where my hesitancy comes from to recommend it to anyone who is a lower AR. You have to be at least 45 and able to clear those domains. If you cannot clear the highest level domains, you shouldn't be touching the Strongbox. Point blank. You can equip decent artifacts that are not the right sets on your characters and do pretty well. The only exception would be if you have played for a long time, you just haven't leveled up a lot, but you've been defeating a lot of bosses and you have a lot of 5-star Glad or Wanderer's Troop pieces. That's a little bit understandable, but you usually want to take the stats on the piece over the artifact sets. And 9 chances out of 10, a good artifact piece on whatever set will eventually have someone coming down the line that it'll work well on. So let's say that you just pulled yourself a Raiden Shogun or Yelan and you're at AR 45. You want to farm their artifact sets. Let's say you haven't gotten to Inazuma yet, so you can't really get emblem pieces and the domain's pretty crappy anyways. It's a bit of a grind, but you also have a Kazuha and you're grinding Viridescent Venerer for him. You get a lot of good VV pieces and a lot of pretty bad ones too, but also you get Maiden's Beloved because that drops in the Viridescent domain as well, I believe. What are you going to do with them? You don't want to build your Noelle or a healer with them per se, or maybe you use those pieces now you just have a lot extra. You don't have access to the emblem domain, but you do have access to emblem pieces through the Strongbox. Now, the Strongbox does only unlock at AR 45, so you can't even think about this before that. So now let's finally get to my thoughts on it. I wouldn't recommend that anybody use the Strongbox until you have a bunch of artifacts built up like I do. Yeah, if you look through here, I have over 500 5-star artifacts, some locked, some unlocked, but I have so many. I think I have over 500 unlocked 5-star artifacts. So I have enough that I can drop in there. If I have all of these that are locked, that might not even be good, but these are the ones that would roll into each other. So looking back up here, all these gladiator pieces, look how many gladiator pieces I have, unleveled. I've got rows upon rows from all the boss farming that I've done. So this is defense, energy recharge, HP on a feather, not what I want. So I could either use it for the XP or try to get a better roll out of it. Personally, I'm going to use these for the Strongbox because that's what gets me the best value for my time. So I picked out 3 helmets from the Glad set and you just basically confirm, and bada bing bada boom, it gives you a piece back. Now that is a Flower, ER, EM. That's actually pretty good having an ER roll on it. However, the defense is kind of bleh. You could turn this again, just throw it right back in, which I've done before when I was farming for Viridescent pieces. But I think this provides a really good alternative to just leveling up the pieces that you have and only farming the artifacts that you have access to. So I think it's a really good thing that Hoiverse added this, especially, which one of these is Xiao's? I don't even remember. And the other Vermilion Hereafter. Whichever one, I'm never going to run that artifact domain just for one character. So I'm able to farm just the set that I want for Xiao, which is pretty good. So I hope that cleared up any questions you might have had about strongboxing or what you can use 5-star artifacts for apart from equipping them on characters. But in my next video here, I'm going to go into a deeper dive of artifacts in general, how you can get them, farm them, XP values, the best way to use them. There's just a whole bunch more that we can get into, and it kind of touches on team building, but I'll kind of keep those to my team building videos. So with that, I've got to head out. I really appreciate you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and a sub. Peace out, Girl Scout.